What's up everybody? Back with another video. This week I'm going to be talking about my Blackmagic Pyxis build. I know I'm a little late to the game talking about this camera. It came out last year. I know that they just came out with a 12K version. I hope it still fits within all this, but I wanted to break down kind of the choices I made, why I built my camera the way you see it here. I didn't go with like a single brand as far as like the cage and the build out. I kind of did like a smorgasbord of everything that I thought would make this the best camera to use. I'm used to like Reds and Arri Alexa Mini I owned for 2.5 years. You can check out that video. But basically, I've always loved Blackmagic. I had a Ursa back in the day, and I've owned Pocket 6Ks and stuff like that. But the Pockets, just the form factor, everyone knows this. We've all been wanting the more cube factor, and the Pyxis delivered on it. So let me walk you through just everything I bought for this camera and why I did it. First thing first, with the Pyxis, there's not many mounting points when it's fully broken down. This side, I don't want the SSD, I don't want their other little attachments. I just think it looks consumer, and this looks professional to me. When you have places to mount Teradeks and wireless transmitter, receiver, you know, all that kind of stuff, you can mount things wherever you want. So I went with this Excelsius design full metal jacket. They have a lot of different options. I ended up opting for the L mount one, even though I mostly use PL lenses, and that's so I could add an ND filter in there. But with the Excelsius full metal jacket, there's even a plate that goes on the back. You can cover up the battery hole back here. You can have 15mm rods bolted right into the cage. That's the part I really loved, because sometimes you can get like bridge plates and everything, and your camera starts getting tall. I didn't want my camera tall, so I ended up just going with the Excelsius full metal jacket, and I have the 15mm rods bolted straight into that, so it's just a smaller camera package. On the back, I just went with like a simple, although it is a newer updated V-mount from Tilta, it gives you two 2-pin LEMOs and 2 D-taps. And it came with like the 15mm rod mount, so that's just easy. I just run a small 2-pin. I would like to get 2 90-degree turn LEMOs so it doesn't stick out so far. So that's gonna be a future little update, but I'm rocking Core batteries, V-mounts, both the, what are these, 98 watt? Both these smaller ones and the newer, bigger one, but with this rainbow handle, you can't really get the big one in there, so I just have to get another little extension. But yeah, Core batteries, love those, super small, reliable, nothing really much to say. But when it came to the top handle, you know, to add to the Excelsius cage, I was looking around. I've always wanted something like this, and I've never really had it. I went with the mid 49 rainbow handle. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but you can really adjust it to whatever camera packages you're using. So you could put like this small one here, you know, so that if your package wanted to be smaller. I've ran this camera like that. I went with a 8 Cine handle on this side. I just wanted like a easy wooden handle, and this one looked nice, looked quality, so went with that, even though it doesn't really have anything. I don't think I have any other 8 Cine products on here. Wooden camera tilt arm right here, I got that recently. I've always wanted it. It seems like the most simplified way. I know I can't articulate left and right, but for the most part it works, and it just keeps the build really small. Got my Cine 7 with Teradek Bolt 6, so we're transmitting right here. You know, I don't have to have a transmitter hanging off anywhere. It's just built into here, and I'm always using this monitor anyways, so that's why I love that. One of the biggest purchases for this, costs almost basically more than half the camera costs, is the Breakthrough Filters PL to L mount. I can't speak highly enough about these PL mount adapters. You can get them for like RF or other ones, but I got it with a variable ND that's 0.45 to 3.3, which is one of the biggest range variable NDs I've seen. Also, the flange distance on this PL mount is much deeper than like I had a Mikey L to PL for my Lumix S5 II that I sold. It just couldn't fit some of my lenses. They would butt up. Specifically, the 36mm Atlas Mercury would butt up against the ND. And so I just knew I needed a better PL mount, breakthrough filters. I also got a polarizer, and then obviously the clear. Picked up this Came TV Matbox. My normal Matbox is like the Tilta MB12, the 3-stage full-size Matbox. I wanted something smaller for this build. You can throw one filter in there and you're good to go. Also, I got a bridge plate from Shape that is just a mount right onto a Dovetail, so there's no rails or anything. It keeps it a lot smaller than the ones that have like the 15mm rods built in. But what I love about this camera so far and what I don't love about it, my 6-month review, I'll say. The side screen is not great. The brightness is great, 1500 nits, but yeah, the color, the depth of blacks, just everything. I don't enjoy looking at that screen at all, so I kind of wish Blackmagic would have done better with that. With the Excelsius cage, I would say a downside is trying to operate the buttons here with this edge going around it. It gets really tricky to like change your white balance or something like that. So that's a little downside. Getting these filters in and out with the Excelsius, it definitely can be done, but it's definitely not easy. There we go. See? But yeah, you kind of have to come in a little bit at an angle to get over this edge. So I'm just letting you guys know kind of the little issues that I've found. Another big one with the Pyxis, if you're just looking at buying the camera and not as much about the build, is the record button is incredibly mushy. I would really watch your screen every time, be very careful, because I've been shooting for over 10 years and I would say this record button has the most false starts out of any camera I've used. So that record button, just when you press it, it doesn't give you any kind of click. If you don't press it far enough, it won't hit record. If you press it too hard, it'll double record, so now you're not recording. Don't like the record button. Really don't like the memory card cover, but other than that, I would say those are small details. Like, make sure you're recording, and every time you get your memory card out, you're gonna have a little, fumbling with that. But what this camera delivers for $3,000 plus the extra, $3,000 or $4,000 I've got on it is incredible. I feel like you could cut this with like a mini LF. You could cut it with a lot of cameras, and I just think that the full frame sensor, open gate with like a 1.5 times squeeze anamorphic is a beautiful look. I'll hopefully, share some frames or stuff right now. Is a beautiful look, and I've been really impressed with this camera. When you build it out like this, it can feel like an Alexa Mini. If you want to strip it down and just leave it a little box, I can put like an M mount lens on it, like from my Leica M10, and you can even like hand hold it with like a little grip, and you can shoot vertical. That's the other cool thing. Maybe I'll show a clip of that. Is you can shoot vertical with it stripped down, and it feels like a little Hasselblad or something. So I love this camera. I think it was a great purchase, and I've had a lot of questions about my build, and I wanted to kind of give all the information here. And then if you have any questions, you can shoot them my way. This is just a Tilta Mini follow focus, I forgot to mention, but great camera. I highly recommend it, and I recommend this build. I've seen other ones, and I have a reason why I would do this. Now, I guess One thing I will note about the Excelsius Full Metal Jacket. If you're somebody that likes to switch your builds a lot, you're moving from a gimbal to handheld to studio on a dolly or something, I don't know if this would be the best thing, because if I want to strip this down for a gimbal, you have to take, you know, the back plate off, a couple screws from the top, a couple screws from the bottom, but then even then, it's like this V-mount, I can't get it off with this, so you have to take the top handle. You basically have to deconstruct the entire camera, which can take some time. And so I think some of the other cages that are more modular, they're more like a top plate and a bottom plate and nothing on the sides, they could be very useful for people who move from a lot of different setups. But if you know, like, I want to leave it basically built out like this, and every once in a while I'll go on a gimbal, then you could probably just get away with leaving the cage on and just stripping the handle and everything like you normally have to do. But if you do leave your camera super like not built out, I think it's a great camera to kind of just pop around on a lot of different setups, and without this build, you would be able to do that a lot quicker. So that's my Blackmagic Design Pyxis 6K build. I hope you enjoyed it, and a little bit of a review on this camera and my experience working with it. If you liked it, comment or share your thoughts about what I should have done differently. Love to hear that kind of stuff, and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.